Have you ever wondered about the history of Miami Vice? In the sun-scorched world of 1980s television, no show exploded into the pop culture consciousness quite like Miami Vice. With its pastel fashion, pulsating synthesizers, exotic cars, and moody storylines, Miami Vice didn't just reflect the era, it defined it. What started as a risky network gamble became a trailblazer that changed the look and feel of television forever. But behind the slick suits and high-speed chases lies a fascinating story, one that includes a network executive's two-word pitch, a real-life drug war, a hand-me-down Ferrari, and a gritty, big-budget film adaptation that polarized audiences 2 decades later. Welcome to History Wonder. The origin of Miami Vice is legendary in TV circles. According to myth, NBC executive Brandon Tartikoff scribbled 2 simple words on a memo pad: MTV Cops. That was the seed. What if you took the style and music video energy of MTV and fused it with a gritty cop drama? Enter Anthony Yerkovich, a writer and producer on Hill Street Blues. Yerkovich envisioned a crime show that tackled the escalating drug wars in South Florida. The setting? The neon jungle of Miami, a city already notorious for its cocaine-fueled crime wave. He pitched a story of 2 undercover detectives, one a street-smart Floridian, the other a transplant from New York, fighting drug lords with fast cars, Armani suits, and attitude. When Michael Mann, a rising director and producer known for his meticulous visual style, joined as executive producer, the show took on a whole new aesthetic vision. Mann wanted to ditch the traditional police show formula. No more beige trench coats or drab offices. Instead, he focused on moody lighting, music-driven storytelling, and a cinematic approach that made every episode feel like a mini-movie. Miami Vice premiered on NBC on September 16, 1984, starring Don Johnson as Detective James Sonny Crockett and Philip Michael Thomas as Detective Ricardo Rico Tubbs. Crockett, with his 5 o'clock shadow, pet alligator Elvis, and a penchant for linen suits, became an overnight icon. Tubbs brought New York swagger and emotional complexity. Together, they were the most stylish law enforcement duo on television. The show's concept was fresh, but its delivery was groundbreaking. Each episode combined gritty police work with vivid color palettes, cutting-edge fashion, and a soundtrack that read like a Billboard chart. From Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight to John Hammer's pulsing instrumental score, Miami Vice sounded like nothing else on TV. And that was the point. This wasn't just about busting bad guys, it was about atmosphere. At a time when most cop shows looked like they were shot under fluorescent lights, Miami Vice offered something revolutionary. Mann banned the use of certain colors on set. No browns, no earth tones, only pastels, whites, and cool blues. Every frame was meticulously composed like a painting. Cinematographers lit scenes like music videos, and locations were scouted with an eye for visual impact. This approach influenced not just TV, but movies, music videos, and fashion. Designers like Gianni Versace and Armani were name-dropped in episodes, while viewers across America suddenly wanted to dress like Crockett. Slouchy jackets, pastel t-shirts, sockless loafers, and all. Of course, no Miami Vice discussion is complete without talking about the cars, especially the Ferrari Testarossa. When Miami Vice first began, Crockett's ride was a black Ferrari Daytona Spider. But there was a catch. It wasn't even a real Ferrari. It was a Corvette chassis modified to look like a Daytona, built by a specialty company called McBurney Coachcraft. Ferrari was not amused. In fact, the automaker sued to stop the show from using the replica. Rather than shut the production down, Enzo Ferrari himself offered the producers 2 brand new 1986 Testarossas on one condition: destroy the fake. And they did, in dramatic fashion. The counterfeit Daytona was blown up by a Stinger missile in Season 3, replaced by a stunning white Ferrari Testarossa that became the visual signature of the show. Crockett's new ride matched the show's evolving tone: sleeker, more powerful, and unmistakably real. It wasn't just product placement, it was television history on wheels. Despite its glossy exterior, Miami Vice was a demanding and often grueling production. Filmed largely on location in and around Miami, the crew had to deal with unpredictable weather, budget constraints, and the very real presence of drug activity in the area. Don Johnson, who nearly lost the role early on due to network doubts, eventually became the face of the show. But the pressure took its toll. Long hours, rewrites, and clashes with producers led to burnout. Meanwhile, Philip Michael Thomas famously predicted he would win an EGOT, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony, a dream that, to date, remains unfulfilled. As the seasons progressed, Miami Vice tackled increasingly dark subject matter: human trafficking, child prostitution, political corruption, and drug cartel violence. Though still stylish, the show became moodier and more introspective, especially in the later seasons. Ratings began to decline by season 4, and by 1989, after 5 seasons and 111 episodes, Miami Vice aired its final episode. Even after its cancellation, Miami Vice remained a fixture in pop culture. Reruns aired around the world, the soundtrack album sold millions, and its influence was felt across Hollywood. You can see its DNA in everything from CSI Miami to Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Directors like Michael Bay and Quentin Tarantino have cited the show as inspiration. Its mix of violence and high style laid the groundwork for the prestige TV era of the 2000s. So potent was its aesthetic that even 2 decades later, the name Miami Vice still conjures up speedboats, sunsets, and synthesizers. In 2006, executive producer Michael Mann returned to the property that made him famous, but not in the way fans expected. Instead of a campy nostalgia trip, Mann directed a gritty, hyper-realistic reimagining of Miami Vice as a feature film starring Colin Farrell as Crockett and Jamie Foxx as Tubbs. Gone were the pastels and pop songs. Mann's movie was dark, brooding, and violent, set in a post-9/11 world of international smuggling, identity crises, and undercover paranoia. Shot on digital cameras with Mann's trademark realism, the film showcased drug cartels in Havana, boat chases in the Caribbean, and noir-like character arcs drenched in tropical rain. While it received mixed reviews on release, with some critics praising its boldness and others bemoaning its cold tone, the movie has since been reevaluated as a cult favorite and a hidden gem in Mann's filmography. Fans admire its raw authenticity and atmospheric power, even if it lacked the neon flair of the original. Over the years, Miami Vice has experienced a steady revival in pop culture. It's referenced in everything from Stranger Things to The Weeknd's music videos. The show's soundtracks are still streamed today, and the iconic Ferrari Testarossa is a staple at auto shows. In 2017, Vin Diesel and NBC announced plans for a reboot of Miami Vice with Chris Morgan, the writer behind Fast and Furious, attached. The project stirred interest but has yet to materialize. Still, the mere announcement reigniting fans' dreams of seeing Crockett and Tubbs race down Ocean Drive once again. In the meantime, die-hard fans continue to restore Dade County filming locations, host Vice-themed car shows, and argue passionately online about who played the better Crockett, Johnson or Farrell. Miami Vice was never just a police procedural. It was a fashion statement, a music video, a postcard from an electric, dangerous era in American culture. It was about style and substance colliding in spectacular ways. At a time when television was largely safe and formulaic, Vice dared to be cinematic, moody, and relentlessly cool. It took risks in music listening, cinematography, and storytelling that would ripple across media for decades. And though the pastel suits may be gone, the spirit of Miami Vice lives on in synthwave playlists, sports cars on Biscayne Boulevard, and every sunset shot in modern TV dramas. As Sonny Crockett once said, "I'm a burnout, Tubbs. I'm a shell. It's not me." But as long as we remember the beat of Jan Hammer and the glow of neon on the water, Miami Vice will never fade. Thanks for watching. What topics in history have you wondered about? Comment below and let us know what videos you would like to see, and be sure to like and subscribe.